the world of Formula One has produced even more drama. This time around, the drama comes from the Red Bull Racing team. As Yuki Tsunoda, driver of Racing Bulls, the sister team, Faenza-based team, is going to step up and replace Liam Lawson, who is going to be demoted to RB, and Tsunoda will step up to the Red Bull Racing seat. Now, of course, this is very interesting news, as only 2 races have been complete, 3 if you want to include the sprint race in China, and Lawson has been dropped already. Well, it's something weird, but we've seen it in the past before, and well, not after 2-3 races, but after half a season. So this is the first time I've ever heard of such an incident happening before. If it has happened, then it probably happened an eternity ago, because it is quite strange. Well, as you may know, 2 races have been complete, and Liam Lawson has been the worst driver in the past few seasons as a second driver at Red Bull Racing, teammates with, of course, 4-time champion Max Verstappen. Since 2019, when Pierre Gasly stepped up to Red Bull, he scored 4 points in his first 2 races in that seat. And then halfway through the season, he was replaced by Alex Albon in the same season, who scored 18 points, which is the best of the 3 or 4 rather. In 2021, Perez in his first 2 races scored 10 points, and Lawson has 0. Now, of course, Albon, alongside Max Verstappen, has been the better second driver, as he has scored as many points as getting a second place is. But for Lawson, that is quite crazy if you look at it, because, well, you could consider some factors. Maybe that Red Bull car isn't as good as people think it is, because of course Red Bull have been a rocket ship in the past few seasons, but the start of the season hasn't really shown that they are in a rocket ship, or they are a rocket ship. But again, Liam Lawson, when you look at his driving ability in Melbourne and in China, he doesn't really seem comfortable or confident in that Red Bull. But if you look at it in a way where you say Liam Lawson versus Yuki Tsunoda as teammates, well, something might be a bit off. Well, in 2023, they were only together for a couple of races, and Lawson and Tsunoda as teammates in 2023, Lawson only scored 2 points, while Tsunoda didn't score points. That was the period when they were teammates. That was when Ricciardo injured his wrist at the Dutch Grand Prix. In 2024, when they were teammates, which was of course the second part of the season after the Singapore Grand Prix where Ricciardo left, Yuki Tsunoda scored 8 points, while Lawson scored half of that. And well, Lawson wasn't too far behind, but of course that RB wasn't as good as it is now at the time. But right now RB is looking in a better position, so you really wonder if Tsunoda is the better driver. A lot of people agree with that, and I'm also one of those people, because Tsunoda has got way more experience than Lawson. Tsunoda has been in Formula One since 2021, and Lawson since 2023. His first full season is 2025, and well, I'm sure Tsunoda has got that experience as an advantage. Honestly, for Red Bull, whether it is too early to call that Lawson should be dropped, I mean, for all that it's worth, I mean, Red Bull are not looking so strong, because McLaren seem ahead of them so far, And at this point, it's basically Max Verstappen racing team, because Verstappen has scored all the points for Red Bull. And well, I guess Lawson was dropped too early. Honestly, it is a bit harsh, but I feel as though 2 races and then you get demoted is quite harsh. And I mean, it is Red Bull. These are things we've gotten used to in the past. And if it does happen again, then nobody will get surprised, because they don't seem decided when it comes to their driver lineups. But the main question remains. One of the main questions is, firstly, what happens if Liam Lawson outscores Tsunoda in a V-carb and Tsunoda struggles in that Red Bull? Well, if Tsunoda struggles, then I guess it's at the point where you can say that Red Bull is horrible, or that second seat has a curse. But I honestly don't believe in a curse. So if Tsunoda does struggle in that Red Bull, and if Lawson performs well in the V-carb, then maybe it is a Red Bull issue, or maybe there is just a confidence issue in that car. But if Tsunoda does well, then we know where the problem is. But only time will tell. And to answer a second big question, if Tsunoda struggles in a Red Bull and they decide to drop him, who's gonna be the other option? Well, let's start off realistic. We've got Isaac Hadjar, who was criticized by Helmut Marko after his tearful Australian Grand Prix came to an end. Well, before it even started in the first place. Hadjar could step up into that Red Bull, but I feel like it wouldn't be this season, it would be next season, because you just don't want to rush things, honestly speaking. If not Isaac Hadjar, then you could say Franco Colapinto. Now, Colapinto, we know he's fast. When he took over Williams last season from Logan Sargent, he was fast. I mean, at times did better than Albon, but towards the end of the season did seem to be a bit trigger happy on the throttle, and sometimes made mistakes and crashed as well. And then here's your third option, Daniel Ricciardo. Now, of course, I have that little hope in my heart that Ricciardo can still come back to Formula One. But for a Red Bull, would that be possible? I don't really know, but it doesn't mean he's not an option. I mean, maybe not for Red Bull, but for Cadillac next year, 2026, with the new regulations. And if not any of those 3, then possibly they could pick somebody else outside Formula One. Who knows? Colton Herta, Pato O'Ward, Alex Palou. Well, those are some options. And well, obviously those are all from IndyCar, because IndyCar is the closest you can get to Formula One in terms of performance and speed. But the answers shall only come next week, when the circus heads to Suzuka, and nobody knows what's gonna happen, because well, we just hope for the best for Yuki Tsunoda, and same goes for Liam Lawson. Not that anybody wants to see anyone struggle, but we want to see these drivers perform at their best and give us the good races that we deserve. Thank you so much for watching, and it's good to do the needful of liking the video if you found it entertaining and appealing. Subscribe to the channel while you're at it so that you never miss out on content like this. And it's enough from me.